Welcome to the deep dive. Lee, so today, we're not just digging through old files. We're basically looking at the moment the rulebook for video games got written, like the actual DNA. We're talking 1981.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. Forget the polished sequels and stuff you see now.
Exactly. Think about anything you love in modern games. Managing inventory, sneaking past guards, even just jumping. A lot of that core stuff, it basically got figured out like right then, in this one kind of chaotic, brilliant year.
It really was a time of just pure experimentation, maybe a bit desperate even. Designers weren't tweaking formulas. They were, inventing whole genres from scratch. It's like the ultimate aha moment in game design again. And our sources basically give us the roadmap, the 5 biggest games from that one year that really changed everything.
All right, so our mission today, we're going to be your shortcut through that history. We'll count down these top 5, look at what they did, and crucially, why it all still matters so much for the games you're playing right now. Let's jump in. We're starting our countdown at number 5. Okay, coming in at number 5. This one was on the Apple II computer, which was pretty cutting edge back then. It's Castle Wolfenstein.
Ah, yes.
Now, when you hear Wolfenstein today, you probably think, fast-paced shooting, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the later ones.
But the original, from 81, it's super important. Our sources point to it as the progenitor of the entire stealth action genre.
That's the key word, yeah. Progenitor, like the original ancestor. And it wasn't just a cool idea they had. It was almost necessary because of the tech back then.
How so?
Well, think about the Apple II. It wasn't exactly a powerhouse, right? You couldn't have, tons of enemies all shooting crazy strings of bullets everywhere. The processing power just wasn't there. So the designer kind of had to make the player slow down.
Ah, okay. So you had to sneak, you had to watch the guards, figure out their paths. I remember reading you could even hold them up and make them give you keys, which must have felt totally bizarre then.
Exactly. It taught players that just running and guns blazing wasn't always the smartest move. You needed patience, observation, planning ahead. That whole loop of watching an enemy patrol, timing your move, avoiding the fight instead of seeking it out, that whole way of thinking started right there, partly because they literally couldn't render a massive firefight properly.
That's actually hilarious when you think about it. Like, imagine trying to explain that to some kid pumping quarters into an arcade machine in 1980. Hey, the point is to not shoot the bad guys.
Huh. Yeah, they'd probably think the game was broken or something.
But that idea, that avoiding conflict could actually be fun and strategic. That's the big breakthrough from Wolfenstein. Its lasting legacy.
Absolutely. And that focus on, slowing down, thinking strategically on the home computer, that actually leads us perfectly into our number 4 pick.
Okay, number 4. We're moving from sneaking past guards to exploring this huge fantasy world. Also on the Apple II, it's Ultima I, the first age of darkness.
Right. Another giant leap.
This is the one that really helped build the whole framework for role-playing games. RPGs as we know them.
Yeah.
Seriously, if you've ever, spent hours tweaking your character's stats or tried to fit one more sword into your inventory score.
Or talk to that random villager who gives you some weird quest.
Yes, all of that. You can probably trace that specific kind of enjoyable obsession right back to Ultima.
What's really cool about Ultima is how it basically laid down the conventions, the unwritten rules that pretty much define RPGs even today.
Conventions? Like what?
Well, before Ultima, most games were about getting the high score, right? Beat the game, put your initials in, done. Ultima was about your character growing, persisting. It wasn't just about one play session.
Oh.
It didn't just give you a health bar. It gave you stats, strength, dexterity, stuff like that. And they actually did things. You had to manage gold, buy gear, level up by gaining experience. This whole idea of investing in a character over the long haul, that was totally new for computers back then. It shifted the focus from just playing the game to kind of living this character's life.
Wow. So all those systems, inventory, stats, quests, leveling up, that we just completely take for granted now in almost any big game.
Yeah.
They were literally being figured out and put into code right here in 81. That's kind of nuts.
Absolutely. Feels like they should have always been there, but nope. And this is what's so interesting about 1981. You see the split, right? You've got the Apple II pushing these deep, complex, story-driven games like Ultima and Wolfenstein. And then you have our next game, which is kind of the total opposite.
Perfect setup.
Okay.
Yeah, we're shifting gears completely now, leaving the deep strategy of home computers behind and heading straight back to the arcade. Sticky floors, flashing lights, the constant need for more quarters.
Coming in at number 3. Frogger.
The classic. Super simple idea, right? Get your frog across the road, then across the river. That's it. But it's just timeless. The genius is in that super precise timing and that feeling of like constant rising panic.
Frogger is crucial because it absolutely nailed managing multiple threats coming from different directions, all with a simple left, right, up, down movement. It wasn't just dodging one car. You were calculating the speed of like 5 lanes of cars, plus the timing of logs and turtles in the river, all at once.
It totally invented the why did the frog cross the road genre.
Yeah.
Except here the answer is to dodge that truck and hopefully land on a log. It manages to be so frustrating, but you just have to try one more time.
It really tapped into that primal fear of trying to jaywalk, maybe.
Totally.
But seriously, what Frogger shows is the peak of that immediate reflex-driven arcade thrill. While Ultima on the Apple II is asking you to spend hours building a character, Frogger demanded like perfect focus and timing for maybe 90 seconds before inevitably splat, and you dig for another quarter. That contrasts the deep home computer stuff versus the intense, immediate arcade challenge. That's what made 1981 such an explosive year for gaming. 2 paths emerging at once.
Okay, moving up the list. Number 2. We're staying in the arcade for this one, but cranking up the complexity and the speed. Way up. It's Defender.
Oh, Defender. Yes. A beast.
This game really took the shoot-'em-up idea and just injected it with steroids. It wasn't like Space Invaders where enemies just marched down neatly. Defender was fast, it was chaotic, and it did something that apparently really confused players at first. Open-ended level design.
Yeah, the sheer complexity was a shock. I mean, for the first time in a shooter like this, you weren't just stuck moving left and right at the bottom of a fixed screen.
Right, you could fly freely.
Yeah.
Left, right. The screen scrolled with you. You were patrolling this whole planet's surface trying to save these little stick figure humans from being abducted.
Okay, wait. Explain that a bit more. Why was just being able to fly left and right such a mind blower? It seems totally obvious now.
Because almost everything before was either contained on one screen or it scrolled strictly in one direction, usually upwards or sideways. Like you hit the edge and that was it, or maybe it wrapped around simply. Defender gave you this wide landscape and, crucially, a radar map at the top. You had to watch the whole battlefield, not just what was right in front of your ship.
Exactly. It forced you to develop this tactical awareness. You couldn't just react to the alien shooting at you right now. You had to monitor threats across the entire map, manage your altitude, rescue humans, and deal with incredibly fast, aggressive enemies.
It was serious multitasking. Trying to protect the humans, shoot one way, fly another way, keep checking that radar. It set this incredibly high difficulty bar. It really defined those hardcore arcade shooters for years. It demanded so much from your brain and your fingers, way more than most games before it.
A true test of skill.
All right, we've had stealth pioneers, RPG blueprints, addictive frog saving, and complex space shooting. It's time. The #1 most influential game of 1981. The game that gave us arguably the most important action in all of video games. You ready?
Let's hear it.
#1 is Donkey Kong.
Ah, there it is, Ground Zero.
This is just huge. And yeah, partly because it introduced 2 characters who are now like globally recognized icons, right? Mario, though, he was called Jumpman then, and the big ape himself, Donkey Kong.
2 absolute titans of gaming, born right here.
But the really revolutionary thing, the audacious bit, it seems so simple now, it's almost hard to grasp how big a deal it was. They introduced the jump mechanic. Think about it. Before Donkey Kong, characters mostly just moved. Left, right, maybe up and down ladders. Sometimes they shot things.
Yeah.
But they didn't really interact with the world using like physics and gravity the way Wario did. He could leap over those barrels rolling down. He could use platforms to actually gain height and navigate vertically.
What Donkey Kong did was fundamentally change how a character could move.
Yeah.
It wasn't just moving along a flat plane anymore. It became this physics puzzle. Jumping wasn't just a little extra move. It was how you progressed, how you avoided danger, how you interacted with everything. It was basically the birth certificate for the entire platformer genre. Hundreds, thousands of games built on that one core idea.
Yeah.
Giving the player that button press to defy gravity. It just unlocked this whole new way of thinking about level design, about spatial challenges, every single platform game, action game, even 3D adventures where you're timing jumps and navigating heights. That entire universe of gameplay starts with that one simple, brilliant vertical hop in 1981. It didn't just launch a game, it launched, like you said, a universe of characters and a fundamental way we interact with digital worlds.
It's just incredible that the single most common, most vital action in countless games, hitting the jump button, wasn't there from the start. It had to be invented as this extra thing you could do.
Yeah.
It totally redefined what a character could be on screen.
So yeah, if you kind of pull back and look at 1981 as a whole, the shifts were massive, foundational. You get the birth of stealth and patience with Castle Wolfenstein.
Right.
You get the entire rulebook for RPGs, for character growth and story laid out in Ultima. And then, bam, Donkey Kong gives us the most important verb in gaming history, jump.
Wow.
And I really want you listening right now to think about this next time you play. Almost anything. A big, modern AAA game, an indie title, whatever. How often do you hit that jump button? How often are you sneaking past an enemy, or managing your inventory, or thinking strategically about enemy patterns? This history stuff, it's not just dusty facts in a book. It's literally the engine running under the hood of the games you love today.
That's such a great way to put it. These weren't just small steps. They were huge leaps in thinking about what games could be. More than just twitch reflexes and high scores. They could be about planning, about character journeys, about mastering physics. So here's the final thought we want to leave you with, something to chew on. If one simple action jumping completely revolutionized gaming back in 1981, what simple mechanic are we maybe overlooking right now in the games we play today? Could be a movement thing, maybe some crafting element, maybe a weird social interaction in a game. Something that seems minor now, but 40 years from now, people will look back and say, wow, that was the moment everything changed.
Makes you think.
It really does. Okay, that wraps up our deep dive into the game-changing year of 1981. We really hope this shortcut through gaming history was interesting and useful for you. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hey, if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe.
Yeah, we'd appreciate that.
Ranked and Reloaded.